So on that scale, 1 meter, that's 1 million years. And 1 millimeter, which is one of these little gradations, that's 1,000 years. And we're going to walk for 4.6 kilometers. Every millimeter is 1,000 years. So let's do the average corporate footstep. But we're Schumacher College, so we're going to do Tai Chi footsteps. 500,000 years. 500,000 years. Every footstep. And one of the stars exploded into a supernova and sent shockwaves through this dust cloud until eventually we ended up with one region of the cloud with a clump of hydrogen that became the sun. So round about there, 4,600 million years ago, we have the solar system. No water, no life, of course, maybe an atmosphere, but maybe no atmosphere. Incredible that what we have now around us, blue sky, life, multicellular beings, came from that molten ball of rock. That's where we come from that supernova explosion, and then the molten ball of rock, and then we'll see what's going to happen. When the Earth was formed, we think there were actually 2 planets in the orbit of the Earth. And it's thought that around about this time, 30 million years later, the 2 planets collided. Molten rock was flung out into space in a great line, and then it sort of coalesced to form another planet, which is still there today. Anyone guess what it is? The moon. So that's how the moon was formed. And the moon has been moving away slowly ever since. So when it was first formed, it was maybe a few tens of thousands of miles away. So it must have been a massive in-your-face moon. And the moon is incredibly important because it stabilizes the axial tilt of the Earth. If it weren't for the moon, the Earth's axis would wobble chaotically. The chances of getting a moon from that impact are very low. Either you get one big planet, mostly, or you just get the rock scattered out in space. So you see, that impact was really important as well for giving us enough iron down there to create a magnetic field to protect us from the solar wind. Basically, Jupiter and Saturn give us the ocean. This is where life begins. We have the first incontrovertible fossil bacteria from here. So now they could live in places where hydrogen sulfide gas was seeping up from the deep earth. And yet they were surrounded by another substance full of hydrogen, full of electrons, that they wanted to split. Can you imagine what that substance was? Water. Some of the bacteria by now have formed big colonies called stromatolites, and they're living communally with a lot of recycling going on, a lot of division of labour. One little bacteria cracked the problem of how to split water. So now the bacteria could spread all over the surface of the ocean. They get the hydrogen from the water, and the electrons they highly energize, and then they make their organic bodies, and they give off oxygen as a waste gas. So this is the moment when Gaia is born, when the self-regulating planet is born. You can see what happens. All of a sudden, further up there, the oxygen very quickly goes up. One lineage becomes the animals, the other lineage becomes the plants, another lineage becomes the fungi. So nothing's changed. But it's going to start changing very fast. These steps are made out of granite. It must have been brought from Dartmoor, and it makes the continents. So it's a continent right here. So you're familiar with trilobites? Yeah. We get trilobites, we get worms, we get the first crustaceans, we get jellyfish. The oxygen's gone up to maybe 15%, so we could breathe the air now. The life is still in the water, there's very little life on the land. Some of those little backboned animals have developed into fish, so we have the first fish. demise of the dinosaurs opened up the evolutionary stage to the little mammals. And so we have us, but not yet. So the first Homo sapiens are somewhere around here. Then let's go to the end of the last ice age, which is 13,000 years ago, 13 millimeters. Then the farming revolution, it's about 8,000, 10,000, about here. And then we have the Industrial Revolution, about 200 years ago, which is 1/5 millimeter. And actually the Industrial Revolution started in this town. And then we have now, 2015. We have the beginnings of the 6th mass extinction. So what we're going to do now is just spend a little bit of time in silence, just here, just trying to digest the immense age of the Earth. Listen to the language of the waves as the language of the Earth. And then we'll walk into the future.